The keycard clicks as I unlock my apartment door, and my shoulder hurts from carrying 8 weeks of life in Canada through Denver International Airport. Home smells just like I left it, coffee beans and lavender air freshener. But something feels off. Aunt Paula is standing in my living room, her pearl necklace shining in the afternoon light. "Welcome home, dear." Her smile is too wide, like a rubber band about to break. "I brought you a little something." My carry-on bag slips off my shoulder and hits the hardwood floor with a thud. In her neat fingers is a white envelope with a silver border I recognize from the wedding planning websites I saved months ago. "Sometimes life writes better love stories than we do, dear." The envelope shakes in my hands. Inside, fancy black writing flows across thick cardstock. "Kayla and Landon happily invite you." My cousin's name is next to my fiancé's. It makes my head spin. The date is set. It's 3 months away. My phone is already in my hand. Out of habit, I open Landon's contact. The call doesn't go through. I try again. A robotic voice says the number has blocked incoming calls. "While you were away, he and Kayla realized they were meant to be." Paula sits on my couch. "The soft green one Landon and I chose last Christmas." "These things happen for a reason," she says. Our engagement pictures stare at me from every wall. Landon and me at Garden of the Gods. His arms around me, my head tilted back, laughing. Us making a snowman at Winter Park. The ring, my grandma's diamond, reset in rose gold. It's still on my nightstand where I left it before my flight. I was so worried about losing it during training. "That certification program was really important for your career." Paula's voice is sweet but sharp, but Landon needed someone to be there. Someone who cared. 5 years of memories ran through my head. The awkward coffee date where he spilled his latte on his khakis, moving in together after 2 years, his old futon squeezed next to my IKEA furniture. His proposal last spring, simple and perfect at our favorite breakfast spot. When I told him about the project management certification in Vancouver, he seemed supportive. 8 weeks will go by fast, he'd said, even helping me look for apartments near the training center. We had already booked the mountain lodge for October 3rd, invited 100 guests. The savings account we built together had $18,000. Most of it came from my consulting bonuses. Our last video call 2 weeks ago keeps playing in my head. He gave distracted answers and kept trying to end the call quickly. "You were so busy with your classes." Paula looked at her French manicure. Landon felt left out. "Kayla got it. She works part-time at a dentist's office. You know, her hours aren't too crazy. She was there for him when he needed someone." Everything is starting to make sense, like a really bad puzzle. The family barbecue Paula had in July. How Landon's calls got shorter. His texts became rare. Those vague Instagram posts about surprise blessings and fate. The timing was too perfect. My laptop is open on the kitchen counter. 3 clicks on my banking app show what I already knew. Landon left his engineering job 4 months ago. She never said a word about it. "Kayla won't leave him for a job like you did." Paula stands up, brushing down her linen pants. She knows what's really important in life. The door locks behind her with a soft click. I slide down to the floor, sitting in the middle of the life I thought I was coming back to. The future Mrs. and Mr. sign still hangs on the fridge. The wedding binder is stuffed with contracts from vendors. A photo from our trip shows us laughing. Now it just mocks how foolish I was. My hands tremble as I take the picture frames down one by one. Every happy memory now feels like a lie played backward. The photo of the snowman breaks as it hits the trash bag. Morning light slowly fills the room as I close the last box of memories. My eyes sting from crying, but with every item I pack, I feel a little stronger. They can be together. I won't fight for someone who couldn't even tell me the truth. I won't fight for any of it. The phone rings at 3 a.m., just before dawn. Mom's name shows up on my screen, and my heart sinks. She never calls this late unless something's wrong. "Your father had an argument with Paula tonight." Her voice sounds tired, like she's been carrying it for years. "There's something you should know about your aunt." I drop onto my couch, surrounded by half-packed boxes from my old life. "What happened?" I ask. "Do you remember how I met your father?" There's a long pause. Paula saw him first at the county fair. She spent weeks telling everyone they were basically dating. I run my fingers over the familiar pattern on my grandma's quilt. But they weren't. Not even close. She just waved at him once at the Ferris wheel. Mom laughs, but there's no joy in it. He asked me to dance at the Harvest Festival. After that, Paula didn't talk to me for months. Everything started to make sense, like a puzzle coming apart. Each piece showed something worse. She's still taking her anger out on me, isn't she? Paula married Frank Thompson just 6 weeks after your dad and I got engaged. Everyone knew she did it to prove a point. Mom's voice cracks when she says Frank left her and little Kayla, who is only 2. Your father helped her pay the rent. He's been sending her money every month since. The room feels like it's spinning. I grab a pen just to hold on to something real. Every single month for 25 years. $500. Like clockwork. I hear papers rustling in the background. He finally stopped tonight. He said he wouldn't pay for something that would ruin his daughter's happiness. My throat tightens. Dad. Calm and steady. He never yelled. He taught me how to change a tire and handle my money. He hugged me every time I left the house, even after I turned 28. Paula came to the house an hour ago. Mom's voice turned sharp, demanding the wedding money, saying it was Kayla's. That now I owed them for leaving Landon. The pen breaks in my hand. Black ink spreads across my palm like a bruise. I left him. I was gone for 8 weeks for a certification. He was the one who pushed me to do it. While you were getting that certification, Paula had Kayla bringing him dinner 3 nights a week. She invited him to family gatherings, but she made sure we never found out. Mom's voice becomes firm. She planned this, sweetheart, just like she's planned everything since the day your father chose me. A heavy feeling of old family pain hits my chest. Every rude remark about my career. Every time they compared Kayla's traditional life to my career goals. Every time Paula called me the busy one at family events. Her lips formed a smile that never felt real. Your father told her something tonight, something I've wanted to say for 30 years, Mom says, her voice full of both pride and pain. He said you didn't lose Bob because of Margaret. You lost him because you treated him like a prize to win, not a person to love. Tears roll down my cheeks. Not for Landon or Kayla, or the life I thought I was building through years of pain. Paula's anger had spread through our family like poison, turning the little girl she raised into a weapon instead of a real person. I have a friend, I say before I can stop myself. Sarah, from the consulting firm. She has a spare room in Seattle. Seattle. Mom says, her breath catching. That's so far. I need distance right now. I glance around my apartment at the walls, still filled with pieces of a future that fell apart while I was chasing my dreams. I already applied for jobs there. What about the wedding fund? 80% of that money came from my bonuses. I reply, my voice calm. I'm closing the account tomorrow morning. Paula will lose her mind. Let her. The words aren't angry, just certain. I'm done suffering for a fight that started before I was even born. A key turns in my front door. I freeze, my heart racing, until I see my dad's familiar shape in the doorway. His eyes are red, his silver hair messy. He spots me on the couch, phone against my ear. He crosses the room in 3 quick steps and hugs me. He smells like Old Spice and safety. I've got her, he says, loud enough for Mom to hear. I'll bring home breakfast, Dad. I press my face into his flannel shirt. I'm so sorry. No, his chest rumbles against my ear. You have nothing to be sorry for. I should have realized what Paula was doing years ago. I should have stopped giving her money the first time she tried to compete with your mom, using you and Kayla. I got a job offer. My voice is muffled against a shirt. It's in Seattle. They want me to start in 2 weeks. His arms hold me tighter. Then we better start packing. But what about Paula, Kayla, and all the wedding guests? Dad steps back, his hands soft on my shoulders. The lamp light shows the gray in his beard, signs of time I somehow didn't notice before. Your mom and I will take care of the guests. As for Paula, his jaw tightens. Some people spend so much time poisoning the water, they forget how to drink anything else. I don't want revenge. That truth surprises me. I just want to be free from all of this. Then that's what we'll give you. He pulls a thick envelope from his jacket. But first, I think you should read this. Bank statements are scattered across my coffee table. 30 years of canceled checks made out to Paula Thompson. Notes in my father's neat handwriting, rent payments, car repairs, Kayla's braces, summer camps, and college application fees. I kept track of everything. Dad's voice echoes. Ruffin thought I was helping her build a life I never knew about. I was just funding her revenge. The last check, dated 3 days ago, has a final note. Payment for the destruction of my daughter's happiness. The payment stopped. I reached for his hand, feeling the calluses from years of construction work. By the way, if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. Alright, let's get back to the story. The hands that built my childhood treehouse also taught me to ride a bike. They held me through every scraped knee and broken heart. Thank you. My voice shakes. For choosing Mom, for choosing me. His fingers tighten around mine every single day, kiddo. Every single day. Outside my window, Denver's lights shine like fallen stars. Tomorrow, I'll close the account that was meant to pay for my wedding. The life I built here is now packed into boxes. I'll write a resignation letter citing personal reasons. But tonight, I lean into my father's strong warmth and let myself feel the weight of 3 generations of women's choices. Paula's bitter pride. Kayla's cold betrayal. My mother's quiet strength. My own power. Finally free from the cage of family duty. 2 weeks until Seattle. Until a city where no one knows my name or the burden of the past. I've chosen to settle down, where each sunrise offers a chance to create my own story. Free from the weight of an old rivalry I never asked for. I close my eyes and take in the scent of Old Spice and the feeling of certainty. Tomorrow will come soon enough, but tonight is for truth and healing, and for the steady rhythm of unconditional love. Days turn into weeks and weeks into months. Now, 3 months later, the Seattle rain taps against my apartment windows in a steady rhythm, more comforting than sad. From my small balcony garden, I see Puget Sound stretching out, gray and endless, with whitecaps dancing under heavy clouds. 3 months ago, this view scared me with its unfamiliarity. Now, it speaks of possibilities. My alarm rings at 6, and the morning routine keeps me grounded. The coffee is brewing, and the toast is slightly burnt because I still haven't figured out the settings on my new toaster. A quick glance at my reflection shows dark circles fading, replaced by determination in my eyes. The certification from Vancouver is already framed on my office wall at Marshall Consulting. Proof that sometimes running away means running towards something better. I head to work. Roger announces at the morning meeting that the Wilson account needs fresh eyes, sliding a thick folder across the conference table. Brooke, you've handled similar logistics challenges before. My back straightens. Yes, I reply. My certification program covered several similar cases. The words come out steady and professional. No one here knows about Landon, or Kayla, or the wedding that should have happened last month. They know me as the driven new employee who works late and gets things done ahead of time. Roger nods, quickly moving to the next topic. But I catch Sarah from accounting giving me a look of approval. Small wins, they build up. On Thursday evening, I'm at a Global Flavors cooking class, chopping vegetables next to strangers who have become familiar faces. Tonight, we're making Thai curry, and the smell of lemongrass and ginger fills the air in the busy kitchen. Watch the knife angle, Chef Marcus says gently, showing the right technique. My hands remember similar lessons from my grandmother during Sunday dinners, where she taught me to make order from chaos, one careful cut at a time. The cursor blinks on my laptop screen. Later that night, Dr. Sharon's weekly therapy assignment awaits. I need to explore the generational patterns in my family's relationships. I write about Aunt Paula's desperate need for status, Kayla's learned helplessness, and my past need to fix everyone's problems while ignoring the warning signs in my own life. A text from Mom interrupts my thoughts. Kayla and Landon's wedding photos are all over Facebook. Want me to call? No need. I text back, working on the Wilson proposal. It's not entirely a lie. The folder is open next to me, full of numbers and logistics. It's a welcome distraction from the memories. My phone stays dark. Mom gets it now. She knows when to push and when to let me process on my own. Our Sunday calls have changed from tearful confessions to actual conversations. Last week, we spent an hour talking about her garden renovation without addressing the obvious issue. The Wilson proposal comes together after 3 sleepless nights. Graphs and projections flow easily from my fingertips. The insights are clear and sharp. When I present to the client team, Rogers raises his eyebrows at the innovative solutions I've come up with. Impressive work, he says afterward. The promotion track typically takes a year, but we might need to speed up that timeline. A real smile spreads across my face, the first one in months that doesn't feel forced in the bathroom mirror. Later, I find myself humming while washing my hands. The sound surprises me into silence, but the moment feels significant. 10 whole hours. Without thinking about the betrayal. Lucy from Formby becomes my weekend walking partner. Our feet take us through discovery parks and winding trails. She's 65, recently widowed, and has plenty of stories about Seattle in the 70s. When she talks about rebuilding after loss, her wisdom comes from experience, not pity. My husband has been gone for 3 years, she tells me one foggy morning. Some days, I still reach for him in bed. But you learn to build a life in the empty spaces. In my grief support group, the people around the circle nod as I finally share the whole story. No one gives advice or empty words. They just listen. And somehow, that's exactly what I need. You're handling this with remarkable grace, Marcus says afterward. His wife left him for his business partner last year. He understands. The promotion letter arrives 6 months early. Team lead with a corner office overlooking the Sound. I send a photo to my parents and Dad books flights for the following weekend. Mom brings home freshly baked cookies and family photos from before the betrayal. We make new memories in my tiny kitchen, laughing about Dad's attempts to use chopsticks at the local sushi place, all through the family grapevine. News starts coming in. Landon still hasn't found any writing work. Kayla's part-time dental receptionist job barely covers their rent. They've moved in with Paula. 3 adults squeezed into her small ranch house, taking turns with the only bathroom. They deserve each other. My cousin Rachel texts, always ready with family gossip. I leave her message unread. Their struggles no longer bring me joy or pain. They're just facts, like Seattle rain or nighttime traffic. I water my growing collection of plants, herbs in the kitchen, succulents in my bedroom, and a temperamental peace lily by my desk. Green things that either grow or wither depending on the care they get. No complicated feelings, no hidden motives. Just genuine growth. One leaf at a time. My therapy journal fills with thoughts about broken patterns and established boundaries. Dr. Sharon tracks my progress, noting how I've stopped apologizing for my career goals. Success is the best revenge, she says, then pauses. Though, I question if you ever truly wanted revenge. She's right. The woman who drove away from Denver with a broken heart and a U-Haul packed with shattered dreams isn't who I am anymore. In her place is someone stronger. Someone who realizes that walking away from negativity isn't weakness. It's strength. The rain against my windows has become a lullaby. Cloudy nights. The sound mirrors the stars and city lights, a reminder that beauty can be found even in the dark. I've stopped checking social media, stopped asking about news from home. My story is unfolding in Seattle's gray skies and green parks, in quiet victories and peaceful mornings. Some nights, memories of the land still catch me off guard. His laugh at breakfast. The way he used to wrap me in bear hugs after long days. But those moments come less often now, like a ghost fading in the light of my rebuilt life. 5 years of love turned to betrayal taught me more about myself than a lifetime of easy happiness ever could. I pinned my team's first successful project timeline to my office wall, right next to the certification from Vancouver, which proved that sometimes, moving forward means walking away. The plants in the corner office are thriving in the filtered sunlight, green and growing, reaching for the future. The email pops up on my screen like a sudden jolt. Landon's name in my inbox, after 7 months of silence, makes my coffee mug shake on the breakfast bar of my Seattle apartment. Subject: Our wedding fund. Brooke, I know this is uncomfortable, but I need to talk about our shared savings. Things are tough right now, and that money was meant for both of us. I never wanted things to turn out this way, but circumstances took over. Writing isn't bringing in what I thought it would, and Kayla's dental office has cut her hours. We're facing eviction next month. I hate asking, but I need my part of the wedding fund to keep a roof over our heads. It was our money, after all. Please help Landon. The autumn rain taps against my windows as I read his message 3 times. Each word cuts deeper than the last. Our money. My consulting bonuses built that account while he left his engineering job. Without a word. Circumstances. Like something pushed him into my cousin's arms. 3 days passed before I touched the keyboard. The words come out clearly. The money was for our future. You gave that up the day you disappeared and married my cousin. Don't contact me again. My finger hovers over the send button. No anger, no accusations. Just the truth. Clean as broken bone.
Click. Block. Done.
2 weeks later, Mom's voice crackles through my phone. Paula showed up at the house with Kayla and Landon. They're asking for the wedding money. What? Your father is taking care of it. I'll call you back. Hours drag on. The Seattle skyline shifts from steel gray to a purple dusk before my phone buzzes again. You have to hear this. Mom says Paula started yelling about what rightfully belongs to the couple. Caleb broke down over bill collectors, but Landon just stood there, staring at his shoes while they fought his battle. A bitter laugh escapes me. They thought my savings would support them. That's not even the worst part. Mom's voice turns cold. Your father finally had enough. He told Paula he's done sending her monthly checks. Monthly checks? $500 every month since her divorce. 28 years of enabling her. He told her, then looked her straight in the eyes and said, "You use my family's kindness to hurt my daughter." The truth of those words echoes in my mind. How many times had Paula shown up at their door with another crisis? How many checks had they written to keep the peace in the family? Paula collapsed on the couch. Mom kept sobbing, saying how life never gave her a fair chance. How watching me marry your father broke something in her that never healed. How seeing you succeed while Kayla struggled felt like history repeating itself. My throat tightens. She punished me for your happiness. I told her she hadn't lost anything. She never played fair. Mom's voice holds decades of quiet understanding. She manipulated every situation, turned every family gathering into a competition. And when that wasn't enough, she used Kayla to take what she thought I had stolen. The family group text blows up that evening, and Susan takes Paula's side. Uncle Robert betrays cousin Jennifer and calls Kayla a homewrecker. Grandmother Ruth threatens to cancel Thanksgiving. Then a new message appears from an unknown number. Kayla, did Mom really plan this? Did she push me toward Landon on purpose? He's not even writing anymore. He just plays video games while I work. Maybe she wanted me to have what you had, but all I got were his broken promises. I closed the message without replying. Let karma finish what it started. The Seattle rain keeps falling, washing away another layer of anger I didn't know I still had. Tomorrow I'll wake up, make my coffee, and lead my team meeting. I'll smile at the barista, joke with my colleagues, and feel a little lighter. The money in my account is no longer tainted. It's not a wedding fund or a symbol of betrayal. It's freedom. It's karma working slowly, steadily, while I build a life they can't touch. Maybe Dad's right. Sometimes kindness turns into destruction when we let the fear of confrontation shape our decisions. Sometimes the hardest answer is the simplest. No more. The eviction notice flutters in the autumn wind. The red letters stand out sharply against the white paper tacked to Paula's front door, thanks to my mother's weekly updates. I find out they only lasted 3 months in the Victorian townhouse before the rent check started bouncing. Now, Kayla, Landon, and Paula share a 2-bedroom walk-up in Aurora, where the sound of sirens serves as their nightly lullaby. He stocks shelves at Target, Mom says during our Sunday call. Her voice has that careful neutrality she uses for tough subjects. Morning shifts. Someone spotted him in the red vest last week. I focus on stirring honey into my tea, watching the amber liquid swirl. The morning light fills my Seattle apartment, everything bright and clean. What about his writing career, sweetheart? Mom pauses. I don't think there ever was one. The words hit softly, like stones. 5 years of hearing him talk about his novel, the characters in his head, the literary agent who loved his work if he could just finish it. All excuses to avoid finding real work while he supported us. While I believed in him, their arguments echo through family gossip. Kayla yelling about broken promises in the Walmart parking lot. Landon's harsh accusations at Thanksgiving dinner about being pushed into a fantasy life. Paula always being around in their small apartment, driving them further apart. Remember when your father proposed to me instead of Paula? Mom's voice softens with old memories. She married Tom Richardson 2 months later. She never loved him. She just wanted to prove she could get her husband to. It's a familiar story, but the similarities hit harder now. Tom left after 3 years. Paula has been seeking security through others ever since. I watch a ferry cut through Puget Sound, sunlight gleaming off the waves. Did she ever apologize to you?
No.
Mom's laugh holds no bitterness. Paula doesn't apologize. She justifies. The truth of this unfolds in real time. Paula begins calling relatives, her voice thick with tears, asking for loans. When they refuse, she tries my grandparents. Their response spreads through the family quickly. Not until you apologize to Brooke. And mean it, Grandma Ruth supposedly said. My father's monthly support checks to Paula stopped. He'd been sending them since her divorce, $500 a month, driven by guilt. Money paid in silence while she quietly damaged our family ties. The isolation hits Paula the hardest. Thanksgiving invitations stop coming. The Christmas card list shrinks. Family members stop answering her calls. Meanwhile, my own quiet success speaks volumes. At 28, I'm a team leader. A corner office with a view. Respect earned through hard work, not manipulation. Your cousin is starting to get it, Mom tells me one Sunday. Kayla mentioned going to therapy, saying she's starting to recognize patterns from childhood. I think about Kayla's tearful face in old pictures, with Paula's hand always on her shoulder. The constant pressure to be perfect, to compete, to win no matter what. Good for her. Then, the call that changes everything comes on a rainy Tuesday. James, my boyfriend, brings me tea while I listen to Kayla's hesitant voice. All her sharp edges softened by humility. I knew it was wrong, she says. I let Mom convince me that I deserved your life more than you did. That if I played my cards right, I could have everything you worked for. Her breath falters. I'm so sorry, Brooke. Not because I need anything from you, but because you deserve to hear this. I watched James move around my kitchen, preparing dinner, his quiet strength, his respect for my boundaries, his understanding of what healthy love is. Everything Landon promised, but never delivered. Thank you for telling me, I finally say. I hope you find peace, Kayla. Far away from anyone who makes you doubt yourself. She leaves for Florida the next month. A fresh start. A clean break. Landon goes back to working on his creative dreams. Defeated, but with his feet finally on solid ground. Paula sits alone in her apartment, writing letters I'll never read. The first one arrives at my parents' house in spring, the next month. Mom describes the careful handwriting, the silver border, like a wedding invitation. She blames the situation, never mentioning her own choices. Return to sender. I tell her that some doors need to stay closed. James finds me on the balcony that evening, wrapped in the quilt my grandmother made. He doesn't ask about the letter or say anything about forgiveness. He just holds me as I watch the city lights blur through my tears. I didn't expect to cry. You don't owe them closure, he whispers into my hair. You don't owe them anything. But I found my own closure. In this quiet life I've built, in the family I've chosen, in the boundaries I've set, and the peace I've earned by walking away. Some bridges burn for a reason. Their ashes make way for new growth, where healthier things can thrive. Later that night, I delete the last photo of Landon from my phone. Not out of anger or pain, but because I finally get it. Sometimes the kindest thing we can do for ourselves is to close the door and walk away. Let karma do its part while we create something better. The city spreads out below my window, full of opportunities and potential. Somewhere in Aurora, Paula sits alone with her reasons. In Florida, Kayla figures out who she is without her mother's voice in her head. And here in Seattle, I watch the fairy lights begin to feel like stars. Finally, free from the need to make sense of it all. Some lessons take everything, but they're worth every bit. I need 2 more years to keep my peace. The string lights sparkle across our back deck, casting warm shadows on faces I've come to love. Seattle's autumn breeze carries the smell of James's famous apple cider and Linda's pumpkin bread through the open French doors. 2 years spent carefully building this life, one piece at a time. And tonight it feels whole. Mom puts down her wine glass and wraps both arms around my shoulders. This home suits you, sweetheart. Her gaze moves to the wall where my team leadership award hangs next to a candid photo of James and me hiking Mount Rainier. No wedding pictures or false promises, just real, hard-earned moments. The doorbell rings. Sarah from accounting arrives with her husband, carrying a potted orchid and admiring the view of the Sound. These people don't know about Landon, Kayla, or family betrayals. They know me as I am now, the woman who leads important projects, volunteers at the literacy center, and makes a fantastic chocolate souffle. Dad's phone buzzes during dessert. His face changes as he reads the message, and I can tell before he says anything. News from home travels fast. Kayla and Landon's divorce was finalized yesterday, he says quietly. She's moving to Boston next month for a teaching job at a private school. I pass him the coffee pot, my hand steady. I hope she finds what she's searching for. There's no bitterness in my words. How could there be, when losing everything led me to where I am now? When that betrayal pushed me toward a life far better than the one I'd planned. Later, after the last guest leaves, I find an email from Kayla waiting in my inbox. My finger hovers over the delete button, but something in the subject line makes me stop. Truth finally makes me pause. I owe you an explanation, she writes. Mom planned it all, but I allowed it. I wanted to believe Landon was my soulmate because it meant Mom's dreams for me would come true. We were never right for each other. The marriage was a mistake from the start. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know the truth. That night, James finds me on the balcony, wrapped in the soft throw blanket he gave me for my birthday. His arms go around my waist, and I lean back against him, watching the lights flicker across the water. Penny for your thoughts, his voice rumbles against my shoulder. Kayla emailed. She's starting over in Boston. I turn to face him.
She apologized.
Kind of. And how do you feel about that? I think about it, letting the words sit with me like wine. Peaceful. Her choices aren't my responsibility anymore. He nods, understanding without asking more. This man who came into my life when I had stopped looking for love, who makes furniture in our garage and reads history books before bed. He proposed with a simple sapphire ring, knowing that diamonds held too many memories. Speaking of decisions, he says, I've been thinking about our wedding guest list. My lips curl into a small smile. Let me guess. You're wondering if we should invite Kayla.
He nods.
That thought crossed my mind. You seem lighter after reading her email. I reply, forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. I trace the anchor tattoo on his forearm. I wish her well, but that chapter is closed. 2 weeks later, the phone rings. Dad again? My heart tightens at the sound of his voice. Paul is in the hospital. They say it's aggressive breast cancer. Your mother thought you should know. The old me would have booked a flight right away, rushing to a bedside where I wasn't welcome. But now I've learned about boundaries, the difference between compassion and martyrdom. I'll send flowers, I tell him. The good ones from that shop she always used to talk about. I hung up after dinner. That same night, James and I stood by the railing, watching the moon reflect silver on the water. Tomorrow, I'll order the flowers. Tomorrow, I'll start planning our small wedding, surrounded by people who truly belong in our story. Tomorrow, I'll call Mom and share more of the wisdom we've both gained about breaking the cycles of pain. But tonight, I enjoy this moment. The warmth of James beside me. The life we're building. The quiet certainty that sometimes losing everything shows you exactly what you need to keep. The breeze carries a hint of wood smoke from somewhere down the hill. I close my eyes, breathing in the scent of autumn and possibility. Some lessons cost everything and are worth every penny.